I invented echo painting, eyes closed, hands open, in the early days of COVID lockdown. My neighbor had given me a box of hospital gloves. I had recently cleaned out the attic and found a big stash of museum board I'd been saving for something. My daughter came up with a close your eyes prompt during a Zoom art session with family. I had discovered Gaga dance online, and most importantly, I'd recently revisited finger painting. Choosing colors takes a lot more time than the painting does. Which yellow? How does it not only look but feel next to another? I spend so much time in this stage, and that color play is the real origin. It's where I find the emotional intent and sometimes even the title of a piece. It's like an audition. I grab colors and see how they work next to each other, and wait to feel something, a kind of a rush from how they look side by side, how they mix and blend. It's like creating an ecosystem that functions, and I really have to feel something in order for it to work as a palette. If this part weren't so much fun, I'd say in a way that it was the real work, because it takes quite a bit of time. I lay all these colors out so that I can find them later. Also crayons, pencils, water, a towel, so that I can reach for them when my eyes are closed and I begin to paint. The paper's taped on vertically. Feeling those tape edges gives a little bit of guidance and holds the paint in to a point, and it allows the chaos its own play space. I close my eyes for the whole process and always reach for pencils and crayons first. Drawing is the origin of everything, and I always begin that way. It's the first impulse and the purest, primitive expression, mark making. The music matters so much to me. I know a lot of people have tried to describe music in visual terms and vice versa, but you can't really do that. I don't think that's possible. But the music does find its way. It expresses itself physically, and it comes through me, through my body, into my hands, and into the paint. And there's an expression of emotions and physicality that really comes from the music. I recently started finger painting, trying to get back to that child pleasure in spreading paint around. And closing my eyes connects my gestures more deeply to a touch-only experience, without the usual visual feedback and critique from my brain. I also began exploring Ohad Naharin's Gaga dance, trusting the body's intelligence while moving through space, and I hope this might also be informing my artwork. When I echo paint, my left hand doesn't sit idly by in its usual servitude to the dominant right. They work together, and everything feels more balanced. With eyes closed, I have to find a sense of trust in the capability of both hands, that they can together conjure an atmosphere, a place, investigated by feel. There's always some paint that strays beyond the tape. Those traces are part of the whole piece.
I echo paint, I'm kind of escaping my usual preoccupation with edges and boundaries between all the shapes and colors. I'm not painting rectangles, and there's a lot of mixing and mud making, but I do also rinse my hands to keep pigments somewhat vivid and clear at times.
Sometimes I have to keep painting after the music stops because the painting hasn't told me that it's finished. There's always a point, a definite time to stop. It's more certain than when I'm working in the usual way with my eyes open, when I deliberate and problem solve for months or even years. I always know when an echo painting is done. I just know. I had originally thought that these would just be starts to paintings and that I would work on them, after I opened my eyes. They would just be sort of starting points for paintings. And I actually did that with 2 or 3, and they lost some freshness. They lost vitality when I kept working into them. And I have those paintings, but they just have gone nowhere. So it's not just a rule I have where, when I get this feeling, I stop and I accept what the painting is. It's more than that. They really do look finished. It's always such a crazy surprise when I open my eyes after having them closed through this whole process, non-visual process. I've made more than 50 of these paintings, and I don't think I've ever, well, I know I have never opened my eyes to look at the work and seen what I had expected. Not that I expect anything either, but it's always this new thing that I've never seen before, and could never have imagined. They are so different from my usual work. They look very different, and they take a lot less time, but they're very valuable to me. I give them a lot more of an intense focus than my usual paintings get. There's this kind of alchemy that takes place, and I'm really humbled by it. I thought it was going to be a yellow painting, and I thought there'd be a lot of this hot orange and fluorescent stuff, but it all gets covered up and you never know. I never, ever have one freaking idea of I never know what it's going to look like at all.